of all of the laugh-o-grams that I have seen, of which there are still a handful left for me to see, but of the ones that I have seen, Jack the Giant Killer is definitely the most detailed, with the most intricate style of animation. And that aspect of it I really enjoyed. The narrative itself, a little bit questionable. Of course, with it being a retelling of an old British fairy tale, not necessarily Disney's fault, but the treatment of the giants is a bit unusual. But this was released in 1922, directed and written by Walt Disney, created during the Laugh-O-Gram studio days. And the narrative starts off pretty safe. Jack is at the carnival with Susie and he decides to show off how strong he is, or how strong he thinks he is. And then all of a sudden we have these giants who are not that giant, to be perfectly honest. With regards to the rest of the animation, they're not that giant. But then things get a little bit violent and it's kind of like a little tussle between Jack and the giants, and it does get more violent than I would have expected, to be perfectly honest. Is it intense? Did I fear for Jack's life? Well, not necessarily. But I was curious to see how far they'd take it in terms of being violent. Is he going to kill a giant? I'm not going to say what happens, but I'll say that it could have been worse. But for a Disney, it was darker than I expected. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting. It's only 7 minutes or so in length. It could have been a lot longer if they wanted. I feel like there's a lot you could have done with this. And the character of Jack, do I like Jack as a character? Well, anybody who tries to show off is a bit annoying, but I wanted the best for him. The animation of the giants, as I said, if you hadn't told me that this was from an animation about giants, I wouldn't have said they are animations of giants. But I like the design of them in some ways. In some ways, I feel like it's maybe a bit offensive. Not to me. I just feel like somebody somewhere will be offended. However, Jack the Giant Killer is a really fun example of what Walt Disney was originally working with. And to think that it started off like this and we ended up going all the way through to Snow White and then all the way to, well, Red Panda, which is the next Disney Pixar that's coming out. It's quite a journey. It's a beautiful journey, a lovely little bit of animation history. And for that reason, absolutely recommend you check it out.